What is up, faithful? Welcome back to Collegian Sports. I'm your host, Marco Martinez, here to do a quick film review, not necessarily a full deep dive. Normally, I like to do a nice deep dive of the film. Typically, I would go through, I have the 49ers playbook, and I would take a dive at what plays are being called or what play the play is and break it down. Today, we're going to kind of go through and we're going to watch together. As I've noticed a couple of things on the film, um, I want you guys to be on the impression of this is not to criticize Brock. This is not to criticize the offense. This is for us to watch and observe a few things. Some of the things that I noticed on film, trust issues. That's something that I came away with yesterday when I watched the film. Is there's trust issues. Now, whether that's Brock Purdy with his receivers, Brock Purdy with his arm strength, Brock Purdy with XYZ. We're going to see the O-line issues, right? Does that affect Brock Purdy? Like, does that affect his trust with his O-line, his timing of the offense? We're going to look at Christian McCaffrey. I know someone already mentioned Christian McCaffrey in the chat, that he looks slow out of breaks. That's something that's going to be on film, and we're going to notice. Just a little quick through. We're going to get through as fast as we can. And kind of just walk through what I see and what the film shows. Again, this isn't to take shots at anyone. This isn't to say I'm right, you're wrong. This is just to truly just watch what is going on and for us to understand that the 49ers offense is in a funk. And why is it in a funk, right? Kyle's offense doesn't change year to year. Guys are still open. Why is that, right? It's a simple offense. I know a lot of people like to say simple because it's not as creative. There's not the Google, like where your eyes are blown away like a Ben Johnson offense where guys are running wide ass open this year. But there's guys that are wide open. We'll see that on film, and it's just whether if every play, and I like to say this, is every play you'll see something different that either affects the play because you need all 11 guys to work in tandem. And if one guy is off, you're going to see something that is a mistake. Jesus says, offense looks very basic and defenses are honing on it. I don't think it looks basic. I think it's the same offense. We'll get to that right now. We'll go ahead and pull that up. We'll just get straight to it. Let me go ahead and change things around. So watching the 49ers offense, for me, I do this for, like I said, I do this for fun. Don't do this to criticize anyone. We're going to go back to the beginning of the film. And first play of the game, it's going to be a outside zone to Christian McCaffrey. And right away, you see Christian McCaffrey. And I thought this play was a really good play for the 49ers. Okay, now my internet wants to act up. Don't do that to me. I've been watching film since yesterday, and it's going to start doing this to me. Don't do that. So we'll stop sharing, and then see if I can get it to play. My apologies. Let me see if I can get this up and running, so then we could go ahead and throw that up. But when we watch the film, there's a couple of things that I'll talk about, right? Some of the Brock Purdy's best attributes are the way he gets through reads and his anticipation. That's something that has always been talked about Brock Purdy, is his anticipation for throws and the ability to get through those kind of throws and make tight window throws that makes everyone anticipate what is going on, right? And for me, that's something that I want to mention right now because it's going to come up later in the film when we're watching. It's like, Brock's normally able to make this throw. What is going on? So we'll go ahead and take a look. It should be up now. Add it to the stage. Perfect. So first play, I'm not a fan of lining Juice up wide. It's just me. For me, it's just a spacing issue. First play of the game, outside zone. Eric Saubert, when we watch the offensive line angle, Eric Saubert needs to come here and seal or kick out, depending on the defensive end. Just overruns defensive end. Just issues, right? Now he's your backup tight end. Kind of a bad thing to see right away from as Kyle Shanahan. You're trying to see what's going on with the 49ers offense, and immediately you see your backup tight end overrun a block. That's something you don't want to see right away. And we'll get to the offensive line play in a little bit as the run game gets going. For me, not a fan of the offensive line play this game. It was absolutely horrendous from a few players. Here, just simple, right? They're trying to get into rhythm, trying to get a first down. That's how Kyle likes to run his offense. Nothing to it really here. I'm going to skip a few plays over just because we know what Kyle's trying to do. He's trying to get his offense into a rhythm, get a first down, get the ball moving. I'm not a fan of running under the sticks, right? That's just me. First down is must needed. And we're running routes that are shorter than the sticks. Not a fan of it. What I would like to see, and this is something that the Niners feel like they have to get the ball out quick on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. They must feel that the pressure's coming from the double A gap, the mugged up A gap. They may feel, and this is something that, and we'll see later too, simulated pressure against the 49ers is really affecting the 49ers right now. And what I mean by that is defenses could dictate what's going on with the 49ers, right? Brock feels like he's hot. He feels like the ball needs to be out now. So we're going to see this later in the film too. He feels like the ball needs to be out now, throws it under the sticks, come down and tackle. That's something defenses are putting the 49ers in a lot this year, and I think that is a big issue. Feels the pressure, predetermines the read, gets the ball out quick. There's just something throughout the film we'll see. Again, he feels these two guys are coming. He may feel the safety's coming. He feels he's hot. Feels this guy's coming. Ball's out quick, even though they're dropping. Short of the sticks, 4th down. Later, Seattle goes and scores. This is where the film starts to pick up, in my opinion, where we start seeing things, whether it's from the offensive line, whether it's from receivers being open. Not a fan of Jalen Moore being in as your tight end or your tight end 2. Yeah, Jalen Moore here. Watching the offensive line, not a big fan of Trent. So we'll take a look at this. Trent comes up, misses the block on 13. Aaron Banks gets his butt whooped by Leonard Williams. Completely extended. Saubert getting whooped on by 98. Just not a good job by the offensive line. You can't really run left when you're missing blocks. We see it from this angle. Trent misses the linebacker. Banks gets whooped on. Eric Saubert gets beat by 98. He's supposed to be the kick out, or at least help with the kick out, and they're getting beat, right? So they're doubling and then having Moore get to the second level, to the cornerback or safety, and they're just getting whooped on. And it is something you constantly will see on film, and we're wondering why Christian McCaffrey isn't getting much production. The offensive line play isn't good when Christian McCaffrey's on the field. That's just kind of what we see. This play, man, I guarantee you Kyle Shanahan is pissed when he sees this on film. Pissed. And he is probably ripping Brock Purdy on this. Brock Purdy's probably ripping himself. This is a throw we have always seen Brock make, right? We have Debo running the deep in. This is something that's going to come open if you let it develop. We're going to watch Brock hit its back foot and just take off. Like, he's not trusting what he sees. He's not trusting his offensive line play. And this is something where I meant by it's a trust issue. It's not is the 49ers offense getting separation? Is Kyle's offense becoming vanilla? This is a trust issue from either Brock and his offensive line, Brock and his receivers, Brock seeing the field. He doesn't trust what he sees, or Brock doesn't trust his arm that he can make this throw. Now he's having shoulder injury right now that he's going through. Let's take a look at the play. I'm going to pause it as soon as Brock hits that back foot and he goes to take off. Boom. Hits his back foot. Now, no one's out of their breaks. He feels this guy coming in on him. You got to trust Banks is going to make a block. You got to trust your offensive line. He doesn't make the block. That's on him. Hits his back foot, takes off. Boom. There's no pressure here, in my opinion. He's still 3 yards and you have Banks ready to kick out. This defensive end knows he's going to kick out. He's starting to spin in. Hits his back foot and goes. As he's scrambling, this linebacker is forced to take the tight end. He's forced. If he doesn't take the tight end's open, he could sit here. Debo comes open in this window. You have the other linebacker here, which is the far hash from Debo. This linebacker is coming here. He cannot stop and break. Deep safety is on the hash. Ball placed here. It's a big gain. Debo probably may score. We've seen Debo score on a play like this before, and it's something where it's weird to see. We're going to watch from the other angle. I know Jesus says this is a traffic pass. We're going to watch from the other angle. In my opinion, there's nothing there that prevents Brock from making this pass. We're going to see from this angle, I'll pause it as soon as he hits his back foot. Nothing here that prevents making this pass. Boom. Linebacker's here. Linebacker's eyes are here. He's going with Saubert. This window right here is going to be open. Anticipation throws are Brock's. That's where Brock lives. Boom. Even if you feel this pressure here, you could step up. This linebacker is going here. Ball could be here. That linebacker is not going to. He's going this way already. He's not going to break and be able to flip those hips and make a play. It's not going to happen. It won't. We've seen Brock make this hundreds of times. That needs to be thrown to Debo. It's open. It's NFL open. And I know a lot of us like to see wide ass open, but that's open. We're going to see here from this angle what defense is seeing. Brock's hitting that back foot and he's going. Boom. Not trusting what he sees. In my opinion, what I think Brock's looking for is Jennings. He's hoping Jennings comes open right away on that out route. Doesn't like it. Sees the corner playing it well. That's Witherspoon. That's their first round draft pick. Takes off. I'm not a fan of it because this year I feel like Brock's just scrambling to scramble, not scrambling to throw. And I think that's just something that is a killer for the offense. Doesn't let your offense get into the rhythm. Doesn't let Debo get into a rhythm. And that's something you need. I don't think the safety was ready for the pass because we could go back. And this is a great point. Jesus, I know you're in the chat talking about the chat. And we could talk about the safety, right? It's a good mention. And I like that you bring that up. So we could talk about safety here. This safety has to drive. This safety has to drive solid 8 yards if the ball's put on Debo now. Maybe even more, 8 to 10 yards. That's a good amount. He's far hash. He's out here. He's about 5 to 6 yards. That's a big gap for a safety to close. Arm talent, again, that's where I've talked about arm talent does come into play. Push the ball, drive it. That should be your fastball. So I don't think the safety comes into play there. I see Justin talking. He's on Hat Patrol. I'm rocking the Washington hat today. The University of Washington college hat. Look here. Boom. Hits his back foot. He wants this throwing lane to be, I don't know if he wants it to be wide open, the throwing lane. He makes this throw. It's a very similar throw. What's crazy about this one is he has pressure in his face. He has I believe McKivitz in his lap. He makes the throw. We know Brock can make that throw. So seeing him miss it and then them come back to a very similar concept and him hit it is something that we see throughout the game, and it just doesn't look like the offense is in rhythm. He makes a great throw, and he doesn't even have zip because he can't step into the throw because McKivitz gets his ass whooped. We can look here. McKivitz gets driven right back into Brock's lap. Can't really step into his throw. Has to essentially fade, making a similar throw. He's open. That's an open receiver. And I know a lot of people this week have talked about Kyle's offense being not open. Later in the drive, that one was more. But the thing is, though, Jesus, so there's a difference between, and this is a great point, right? That one was more open. That's a great point. And I like that you say that. There's a thing in the NFL where you'll hear coaches, receivers, and I talked to when I've had Josh Harper on the show before, played in the NFL, coached in the NFL, and he likes to talk about it. He played receiver. There's a difference between wide ass open and open in the NFL. That was wide ass open. 5 to 10 yards of separation, no one near you. That's a wide ass open. The other one was a wide open. It's open. That's wide open. You have about 3 to 4 yards roughly, depending on how you want to dictate it. That's open. In the NFL, all you need is 1 to 2 steps to be open on your guy, and that's all you need in the NFL as a receiver. Quarterback should be able to put the ball on you in the spot and hit it. That's open. So 1 to 2 yards of separation in the NFL is open in the NFL. At least that's what receiver coaches, NFL receivers, and quarterbacks would all say. And that's coming from someone who coached with John Gruden, played in the NFL. That's coming from Josh Harper when I've talked to him. So just wanted to go ahead and put that out there as well. So we go to the next play. Aaron Banks, man. There's a conversation to be had about Aaron Banks being benchable right now. Same with Brendel. Banks just gets whooped. Brendel needs to, essentially, you could argue is both Brendel and Banks. We'll look at it from the next angle. So they're getting ready to combo this. Brendel's wanting to get up to the next level. 91 does a great job, in my opinion, of slanting. But Brendel's guy, we'll take a look at this. Brendel's guy here, double here, get up to the next level. They just don't do anything. Great. So there's nothing here. Also love this defensive end crashing down, knowing that they're trying to come here. It just completely blows the play up. It's just great work, and it's Brendel and Banks. Right now, they're that tandem. Great job by 98 though, crashing in, completely throwing off Banks. My opinion, great play by 98. Great play by 98. Trent, I know a lot of coaches would like to have him not cut 98 off, or not allow 98 to cut him in his face, across his face. But Banks, you cannot get whooped like that. Brendel cannot get whooped like that in the run game. 2nd and 10, don't get nothing, right? Now you're in passing situations. Now the defense could dictate what you are doing on offense. Run the ball. I like this play call by Kyle. 2nd and 10. Get a few yards, make it a third and manageable. Here you can see a lot better blocking from the right side. And it kind of felt like that throughout the season. Right side's been a little bit better. Look at the difference between Puny or Dominic, I don't want to say his last name, our rookie, and Brendel working the double. So typically this is how you would want to work it. These two are working the double. Brendel wants to get to the next level. He wants to get to 13. It's either if Banks could seal or Trent could seal, however you want to go. One of these two should be getting to that linebacker. Typically, you want Brendel to get to linebacker. You want Banks to get to that linebacker. So typically, that's how you would play it. At least how I would typically see it in the NFL. Look at the double from Brendel and Puny. You don't have to get to this linebacker because linebackers, so what happens is your defensive tackles do a hell of a job on keeping a linebacker clean. Linebacker Fred makes plays, and I'm going to mention Fred. Fred Warner makes this play if the defensive tackle or Ernest Jones makes a tackle back here if the defensive tackle doesn't get driven off the ball. He gets driven off the ball in his lap. He can't shoot this gap and make the play back here. This is why you get a good gain. Get driven off the ball 5 to 6 yards. Hell of a block by those two. Give credit where credit is due. Right here, 91 driven into his lap. Brendel doesn't really have to get up to the second level because they are at the second level driving. That's something you'll see. Oh, it's been very poor play from the offensive line, and it has been very painful to watch at times. In the run game more so than pass pro, which is interesting because normally we're better run game. Again, and I think this is because it's a rookie. Now, this is a tight throw, but ball on him now. Driving, I get it. He's driving. He's coming down, wants to make a play. Safety, eyes are here. Brock sees eyes, all right? He sees this. I like it to turn it down. I don't mind to turn it down, but he's open. I don't mind him turning this down at all. This is a good turn down. I know a lot of people were posting this that this is open. Yes, this is open. A good turn down in my opinion. He's driving. Eyes for Brock are here. He's reading this. What does this safety do up top? I like this turn down. He's going to be open, but I like to turn down. And he's going to go up to Jennings on the whip route. Goes out, whips back in. Tight coverage. Hell of a catch. Hell of a throw, in my opinion. Remember what I said earlier? A yard of separation. That's open in the NFL. Jennings is open. Good throw. Good catch. Move the chains. First down. Also, what I do want to point out, good blitz pickup. Christian McCaffrey. They're sending a blitz. This is something we'll see throughout the game where the Seattle Seahawks could dictate what the Niners do offensively. They step up, bring Ernest Jones. Now they're sending 5. You got to pull out. It's 1 here, 1 here. You could go there, and you have an extra just in case. Or you could send a double to somebody and have somebody be helped. So however you want to look at it, that's how it would normally be blocked. They end up sliding this way, 3, because they send an extra. Good pickup by Christian McCaffrey. Clean pocket. You can step up, make a throw. Clean pocket. I know everyone's probably going to look at this. Hey, might be pressured. Nope. Because the quarterback's job is to step up into a nice, clean pocket. You can see the little U shape. Clean pocket there. Great throw, Brock. Move the chains. Great catch by Jennings. He's open. Great play all the way around, in my opinion. I like how he turned down Pearsall. Still got the first down. We can see from here on this angle, Pearsall's open out of the break. But I like that he turns it down because you do have both safeties. So he's not really open. It's right here. If the ball's put on him, it's probably caught, but he's probably going to get here, and he's eventually going to get here. I like turning it down. I don't mind it, but it is open in the NFL. That's open in the NFL. Good play all the way around, in my opinion. We could even take a look at the offensive line. Great offensive line work right here to pick up and this is more so on Puny. So they're gonna send the stunt this way, DT, or the defensive tackle linebacker blitz. Defensive tackle comes inside, linebacker loops around. So now you have 1 here, here, picking up here, linebacker with Puny. This linebacker is gonna come on a delayed blitz. Great pickup. Look at the pocket. That's just a great pocket from the offensive line. You cannot ask for anything better. Brock, beautiful pocket, delivers a dart. Good throw. Good catch. Move the chains. Oh, you can see from this angle too, on the Ricky Pearsall situation. He is open now. He still has a few yards to come down. Eventually, he is going to come down and hit him. But if the ball is out at the break, right, and this is something that we'll see. I don't mind the turn down, but we've seen Brock make this throw before. Ball needs to be out now. It fits on him right here. Pearsall's known for catching over the middle. He's known for his toughness. Ball's out. It's caught. First down. I don't mind it because the safety's coming. Brock's eyes are here. He's holding that safety. So if he wants to make that throw, he could rip it and make the throw. He has a throwing lane. He can make it. I like the turn down. In my opinion, I don't mind the turn down because there is the 2 safeties, but it is open. Good throw. Good catch. Move the chains. Let's get going. 1st and 10, first quarter, ball on 28. Here, again, Mason needs to get reps. This is just, it's blocked up beautifully. As beautiful as it could be. Mason puts his foot in the dirt, and I'm going to show you guys something that from Mason. Watch Mason put his foot in the dirt and get upfield versus when the next time we see Christian McCaffrey, I'll point it out, it takes him 2 steps, maybe sometimes even 3 right now because of the injury. Mason puts his foot in the dirt, boom, gets up. Like that. He's able to cut out of his break, and I know Jesus mentioned it earlier in the chat, cut out of his break, get upfield. That's something that I love seeing from Mason. Watching the offensive line block this perfectly for the cutback. That's exactly how Kyle Shanahan and the offensive line draws it up. Banks, great block. Trent, great block. This is just blocked up beautifully. This is Trent's guy. He's trying to get outside to make it cut in. I don't know what he's looking for. Bad eyes on a linebacker, in my opinion. Look at this lane. Look at this lane. Sealed the linebacker that we talked about earlier, right? Brendel's gonna want to get up and get a linebacker. Puny's gonna get here, get outside, and reach block on 97. Banks is gonna reach block. Trent's gonna block. It's just drawn up beautifully. Kyle Shanahan in the film room, Chris Forster in the film room is looking at this play and saying, "This is how our blocking scheme needs to be executed." Look at this running lane, beautiful block. Mason needs to get run. Can we please get Mason the ball a few more times in the game next week, especially in a cold weather in Green Bay? No one wants to tackle in cold weather, and this is a running back you don't want to tackle. Look, the cut. This is exactly how Kyle Shanahan draws it up. Great play. Move on to the next. What is up, 49ers Red Zone? How's it going? Interesting, because my first podcast when I initially started was 49ers Red Zone, so I love the name. Catchy. I like it. Now, we're in the red zone. We're at the 20. We're in the red zone. This is where red zone issues start to happen. Niners go inside zone or inside handoff, whatever you want to call it. Move the ball. Mason again. Mason, what up, JC? Offensive line looks good here. I don't know if it's a factor of Christian McCaffrey not being as explosive right now. I don't think that's the case. Offensive line looks good. Good blocks. Brendel getting to the next level. Move the ball. Let's get to it. Again, red zone cues, right? Guys are going to be open, right? This is where red zone is key, where quarterback's talent does come into play, where you need a stronger arm. Again, this isn't to kill Brock. It's not what today's show is. What today's show is just to see the show, what the film's seeing, what we're seeing. There's trust issues along the offense, whether that's Kyle and Brock in the offensive line, Brock and his receivers, Brock and what he's seeing, Brock and his arm talent. There's trust issues here. And I'm telling you right now, if I see it, other teams are seeing, Brock is turning throws down. Watch Saubert on this whole time. He's gonna come open. This is a trust issue throw. You gotta freaking rip this throw. I don't care if you end up scoring on this drive, you gotta freaking rip it. This is open. Look at the throwing lane he's gonna have here. Step into this throw, and earlier we talked about this. Maybe he has somebody in his lap. We've seen him make a throw with somebody in his lap earlier, and that's where arm strength comes into play. And that's what I was trying to talk about in the past. Arm strength does come into play at certain times. Checks it down to Jennings. Take what the defense gives you. I get it. Take the gain. This is a touchdown. If this is Kittle, he is ripping this. He's putting this on Kittle right here, ripping it. That's a touchdown. In my opinion, that is a touchdown. You got to make that throw in the NFL. Eventually, we're going to see a similar play where I think the next one is even a worse of a turn down, because here you're getting the gain. You're taking what the defense gives you, especially at the 20 or 15, first and 15. Take what the defense gives you. Don't mind it. You're in the red zone. Just trying to get a positive, trying to take what the defense gives you. Take a profit, not a loss. I like it. But, again, anticipation. Brock throws with anticipation. If Brock rips this right here, this linebacker, he don't know what the hell's going on. I'll tell you right now, he does not. If it's Kittle, it's open. Watch. this linebacker's eyes, what this linebacker's eyes sees in zone, I'm going to tell you right now. I played linebacker. I played safety. This linebacker is not worried about Saubert. He's worried about this crossing route, and I guarantee you Brock saw this on film and said, I missed this. This is a zone play. Eyes are coming for what's threatening my zone. This linebacker is no longer part of it. It's this guy's job. He's a few yards back. Linebacker eyes crossing my zone. You guys remember the big play that Dre Greenlaw made at the goal line against Seattle? The guy crossing his zone. You come up. Eyes are here for this linebacker. His eyes aren't worried about Saubert. You can make that throw. He's open. He's open. You can layer that, and you can make a throw on the R of the 49ers in the end zone. That's a touchdown. Brock takes a profit. Don't mind the profit. I don't mind the profit at all. But this is just us seeing things where red zone cues, red zone issues aren't just on Kyle Shanahan. The quarterback plays a factor into it. The offensive line plays a factor into it. The receivers play a factor into it. That's an open throw. You got to hit it. If it's Kittle, I think Brock takes it. It's a touchdown. 2nd and 5 at the 10. This one, in my opinion, is a worse of a turn down for Saubert. I know we end up getting the touchdown on this drive with a Brock scramble, but this is a turn down. If Brock doesn't make a great play later in this drive on the next play, their next 2 plays, then we're talking about missed opportunity in the red zone. You cannot miss this opportunity. You have leverage. You see this. This is leverage. Brock is looking right at it. This linebacker has leverage on you. You're outside. Ball's placed here. Touchdown. This, in my opinion, is a big turn down. Takes the check down. Again, trust issues was what I started with. He maybe just doesn't trust Saubert at tight end. Maybe he's like, you're not Kittle. I don't trust you making this catch. I don't trust throwing this to you. I don't trust my arm to rip it. The offensive line has a clean pocket, so we can't say it's the offensive line trust. That's open. That needs to be thrown. The issue is does Brock trust his arm? Does he trust Saubert? And I think it's more so. I think he trusts his arm. I know he does. He has the confidence in the gunslinger mentality, so I know he trusts his arm. I think he doesn't trust Saubert. That's at least what I'm seeing, because that's a turn down. We can see from the next angle, this is a turn down. If we don't end up getting this, we check the ball down, get to the 5, 3rd and 5 now. If we don't get a touchdown on this drive, we are talking about this in the sense of our offensive red zone has issues, right? Pause here. I'm going to pause it as Saubert's coming out of his break. And again, not the greatest route, but he's open. Hold that linebacker and rip it. In my opinion, you could hold this linebacker. You have all time you have all day to throw, good pocket. Rip that. If he drops it, guess what? Everyone is blaming Saubert. This is something you gotta throw. And I can't express it anymore. You gotta make this throw. It's open. In the NFL, that's open, and that's something that I want to see him make. I take the profit. I don't mind taking profits. It's hard to say don't take a profit, but that's open. NFL terms, this is open. Yeah, this is a yard of separation. This is about 2 arm lengths. This is open. You hold that linebacker, make the throw. Linebacker's over here where my cursor is. The other linebacker. I don't know if you guys can see it, but he's over here in the red zone. But man, you got to make those kind of throws, because later in the game, you're turning these down now. Later in the game, Brock scrambles. Turf Monster gets him on the first down. Turf Monster gets him. He ends up making a play on the next play. This is just a hell of a play by Brock. This is a hell of a play. But again, if he doesn't have to make a hell of a play, scramble, dive, potentially hurting himself. Doing it is something that you don't want your quarterback having to do if he doesn't have to do this, right? You don't want him to go and dive 5 yards to the end zone. You don't want him to have to scramble to get a touchdown, right? Like, you don't want him to have to do things he doesn't have to do. Great effing play, but as a coach, you don't want him doing that. As a fan, you don't want him taking hits. Second quarter, Niners are up 7-6. I like this motion for CMC. I like this style. I wish they would use Debo more like this. Send him in a quick motion. He'll be your check down option over here. I do like this from Kyle. What I don't like, though, is opening up your quarterback this way, because you could open up, fake the handoff like this, so his feet are still going. I don't like having to open like you're a left-handed quarterback and then having to flip your hips. I don't like it at all. I don't. How he has to flip his hips back. If something's open, he has to. It takes too long. Debo slips, right? In my opinion, ball should be out now. Just check it down. You see Debo slipping, just check it down. But this is where we get, again, trust issues. Offensive line gets its ass whooped. Trust issues. If your O-line is getting whooped like this at times, you're going to start feeling and you're going to start seeing pressure that's not there eventually. Banks whooped. Banks and Brendel. More so, in my opinion, I think this one's more so when we take a look at this one. It's you don't want to see this from your offensive line. So they're gonna pull Puny. Pull Puny. Puny has a kick out here. McKivitz is gonna have here. Let's take a look at this. Trent has the inside. McKivitz here. Banks should be looking for work. Whether that's helping out Brendel, whether that's you already have one hand here. Trent's not going to get whooped inside no more. Look for work. You typically see the offensive linemen come and they'll clean stuff up. Banks knows his head's turned. He knows he needs to look for work. He knows Trent hasn't handled. Inside move. Banks. This is on Banks. This is not on Brendel. This is on Banks. Gets whooped. Can't really do nothing with it. Trust it. You don't trust the offensive line here, right? Good play, good throw, good catch. Take a profit. And this is where Brock has, in my opinion, I thought Brock was great last year. Scrambling to throw, not scrambling to run. I like to see Brock scrambling to throw. And you can't really check it down. Typically, you would if it's blocked up well because Debo already slipped. So you would want to have that check down option to juice. Check down now. As he's about to look, there ain't no way he checking this down. This guy's coming down his eyes. Nope. I understand, Brock. I understand. 300-pound lineman coming down your face. Yeah, don't do that. 2nd and 5. Let's see if we can get through some of these a little faster. Nothing's really open outside of Saubert here. This is your top corner on the Seattle. They drafted him top 5, top 10, whatever. Witherspoon. Really, really, really good corner in the NFL. On a running back who's injured. Brock, you're smarter than this. Don't force this kind of stuff, man. Saubert's open. He just bully ball. Bully ball, I'm open. Give me the ball. This dummy route, check down. In my opinion, it should be read this way. Not here when he's your number one corner on your running back running a whip route who cannot get out of this break. Watch him get out of this break. Takes him a while to get out of the break. Looks like one of those CW, if you've watched the show All American, looks like one of those CW actors running a route, unfortunately. Just can't run. You can't do nothing out of it. My opinion, ball should be going to Saubert or not being thrown. Throw it away. Ball should be here. He has that yard. That's all he needs. Look, the separation's there. Don't like to see it. Don't force stuff. Don't do that. This is a good play design. It's not blocked up well. Again, Banks getting whipped. A common theme, right? Common theme. Banks and Brendel. Banks and Brendel. Common theme. Look at Brendel get his ass whipped. Look at Banks get his ass whipped. Common theme. It's just bad offensive line play. You don't give your running back anywhere to go. It's just bad offense. You just no other way to put it. You come in here. There's a lane here if this is blocked up well. Christian McCaffrey typically will see this and cut back if this is blocked well. Banks getting whipped right away. Brendel gets whipped right away. There's nothing here. Feliciano needs to start. Yes, 49ers red zone. Feliciano, please. It's just bad. It's poorly blocked. And and we're wondering why our offensive line can't. 2nd and 9, right? Second and you're put in bad situations. You're putting your offensive passing game in bad situations. They go to run it. Nothing there again. You just can't get the run game going. This one, double team, try to get to the second level. Brendel just can't get to the second level. Look, second level there. Good play by Ernest Jones, too, though. Knowing he's getting to the second level, beat that with speed. Good long arm extension. Good linebacker play. Like to see it sometimes. Hate that it's Seattle doing it to us. Good linebacker play. Next play, 3rd and long, right? 3rd and long. This is something teams dictate. When the Niners are in 3rd and long, you could dictate what the Niners do. You could send simulated pressures. You could dictate because they throw hot. They don't. Typically, you'll see a team, and this is something a lot of people are talking about, audibles, going to line of scrimmage, calling out audibles, changing stuff. Typically, you would see Peyton Manning do that, right? He would give you hand signals, or he would go to the line of scrimmage, and he would completely change the play call based off of what he saw on 3rd downs, right? Something we always saw Peyton do a lot of the time. Not all, but always, but a lot of the time. Here, you have guys, you overload, right? You have guys 3 over here, 2 blockers, right? Now you have this tight end. He could stay in and block. You have this edge rusher, this linebacker. Let's see what they do. See what they send. They do send 3 off the left side. Niners block it up really well. All right. One thing I want to point out. They're in the man. Here. Doesn't pass off to here. He goes with it. Right? It tells you that he's in man. This is where arm strength and talent does play a factor in the NFL, right? Let's watch Ricky Pearsall up top. This is blocked up well. They pick up the 3 coming this way because they have Saubert staying in the block. Trent's blocked up well. Banks is maybe expecting this guy, but the guy that he's on CMC, we're man here, here. This guy is waiting on Saubert. Witherspoon has Woolen 2 to 3 steps. That should be here, in my opinion. That should be boom on him. On a laser. Doesn't trust his arm to make that throw. Understandable. Turn it away. Turn it down. I get it. But then we get into a scramble mode because you don't make that throw, right? Great. Hell of a play right here. Getting the safety with the pump fake. Hell of a play by Brock. But again, that's not necessarily needed on a 3rd and 7. Ricky Pearsall's open. You drafted him in the 1st round. And you're going to watch Ricky Pearsall go out. We know he's open. Hits his back foot. He has time to make that throw if he wanted. A very long throw in the NFL. Far hash to the sideline. That's a long throw. That's where talent comes into play. I'm not trying to kill Brock, but that's just something that's his limitations, right? But then hell of a play. That's a freaking hell of a play, dude. Jeez. Next play. again, I don't like Juice sliding up out so wide. I know you're trying to run the ball this way, and you're trying to take this guy out of the picture. I'm just not a fan of it. It just, to me, if I ever saw this and I'm playing outside, I'm not worried about you. I'm stepping in, and this is what Witherspoon's telling him too. I'm not worried. Look inside. Ain't worried about him. I would step up right here, and I'm playing the run hard. That's just me, how I would see it, because I know you've been doing this. I see it on film. It's a dummy. It's truly a decoy. Good play, though, by the Niners. Blocked it up well. To me, as a defense player, I've seen it on film from the Niners. I would not be trusting that. Saubert, good way to get to the second level. We're going to see some stuff where now it begins where we start turning stuff down a little bit more, especially later in the game, second quarter, end of second quarter, 5 minutes, 6 minutes left, second and 3, false start. We can skip this play. Appreciate you, Justin. Appreciate you. Remember earlier I talked about how defenses could dictate what you want to do on offense when Brock or Kyle's not necessarily. He allows it, but when the Niners don't want to do something. Appreciate you, Justin. Make sure everyone hits that like button. Make sure you guys share this, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate every single one of you guys. But when you don't want to change the protection of the line of scrimmage, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4 potential, right? He's creeping up. Potential coming. You have 1, 2, and you could consider this a third potential. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to block, right? Typically, you could slide the protection. Trust Trent one-on-one. Slide the protection this way. See what happens. We're hot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right over Brendel. So Brendel has to respect this a little bit. Banks should cake here. Again, if we're sliding right, Banks, Brendel's getting one of these. Puny's getting one of these. McKivitz is getting outside, or the closest inside guy, and letting the outside guy go. The last runner is Brock's. We're throwing into hot. Good throw. Good read. Good catch. But instead, if you slide this, who's Trent blocking? His guy ends up dropping. Right? His guy ends up dropping. You're not really blocking. You're not doing much to give Brock an answer here. And this is something that I don't like about Kyle's offense. But I understand why Kyle doesn't put the pressure on his quarterback to change protections. Letting the defense dictate, right? This allows the defense to dictate where you're going, and this affects you later in crucial moments because the defense knows they could dictate. If you block this up well, you have this. You have your best receiver up top that you could go to because you block it up well and you change the protection. Right? This plus the yards after the catch. And we want to know why our yards after the catch are down. This kind of stuff, not changing the protection. You don't got to change the play. Change the protection. The play call is there. It's a good play call. Protection, not great because your defenses are overloading, sending more than you could block. You're not adjusting. You're not sliding. You got to throw hot. It's unfortunate. Defenses are putting the Niners in bad situations right now. And it's because they're not changing the protection. They're not sliding anything. They're throwing hot. And a lot of teams like to throw hot. I know when Kyle Shanahan was with coaching under John Gruden doesn't like to throw hot. You go watch John Gruden's offenses, they change the protection, they're pushing the ball down the field. Gary Kubiak, when Kyle started working with them, they throw hot. They don't like to put that pressure on quarterbacks. Debo needs to stop being used in this end around. I'm just going to skip this play. Everyone knows Debo needs to stop being used that way, or the offense isn't working right now like that. You're not fooling anyone. Good throw, good catch. But I want to get to some of the ones where we actually see turn downs. We see stuff that's being turned down 2 minutes or 3 minutes, second quarter. 7 minutes, 7-6. You need to score because Seattle gets the ball back after half. This, to me, is the biggest turn-down of the game. Blocked up perfectly, in my opinion. Blocked, beautiful blocking. Everything's there, right? Blocked up perfectly. Why are we turning down Conley on the top of the middle of the field? Why? We're staying in essentially. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to block. 4. And we're turning down Conley. These linebackers bite on the play action. They bite just enough for you to rip that throw. We've seen him do it earlier. We've seen him do it in the past. This is shit that Brock could do. Brock can make this throw. Brock makes this throw here. He needs to rip it. This is where the offense ends up stalling. They don't get points at the end of the second quarter. That throw's wide ass open if he makes this throw. Put it on him. You're too talented of a quarterback to turn that down. It's just one of those ones where you're way too talented of a quarterback. We've seen you do it in the past. Ball should be out now. We've seen him layer throws over the linebacker, so don't give me the linebacker in the window. We've seen Brock make this throw for the last 2 years. Brock needs to make this throw. Again, does he not trust Conley? Does he not trust what he's seeing? That's something that needs to be talked about. Does he not trust Conley? If he doesn't trust Conley, that's an issue because he's going to be one of your receivers the rest of the way. So you got to trust your receivers. You got to just let it rip. Ends up checking it down to Juice, taking a profit, but fuck, man, that's wide ass open. That's wide ass open in the NFL. You got to rip it. And I'm not trying to kill Brock. This is not for this. We're just trying to see what Kyle's offense looks like. Is anyone getting open? This has to be ripped. Layer. You got to rip it. You got to rip it. Turn downs. You can't do it. Cowling needs to be played more. It just sucks. I do like seeing Cowling. Good run, block, everything. Get 4 to 5 yards. I like it. Late in the quarter, late in the half, you can't shoot yourself in the foot. Penalties. 1st and 15. Now we're behind the chains. These two up here, rookie, doesn't know what's going on. Jennings is over there changing each other. This is a big turn down too, in my opinion. Late in the quarter, you gotta rip throws. 1st and 15. Pearsall's open now. Ball should be out. We've seen Brock throw with great anticipation. Ball should be out here. Look at this. This window is open. Good pass protection. Ball needs to be ripped. Does he not trust that he can make this throw? Does he not trust his receiver? That's just kind of the topic right now, right? Does he not trust what he's seeing? He does not trust Pearsall. His arm talent does not trust it. The thing is, I know he trusts his arm. I know he trusts what he's seeing because we've seen him do it before. So, I mean, what is it? Do you not trust the receivers? Let it rip, Brock. Let it rip. Put it on him. If he drops it, that's on him. We're blaming Pearsall, not you. Don't turn down. You don't want to see this on film. Do not turn down throws. Jennings isn't open because this linebacker is in the window, right? The linebacker is in the window. That's open, man. That's NFL open. There's no other way to put it. You got to make that throw, especially because you end up getting sacked because you turn it down. I don't think this is a Brock sack. This is not a Colton McKivitz sack. We could argue that Colton McKivitz gets whipped. If ball's out, it don't matter if he gets whipped or if he gets beat. Ball should be out. That's a Brock Purdy sack. He's open. Ball should already have been on him out of his break. That's just something you were watching. We're like, damn it, Colton. Come on, Colton McKivitz. You freaking suck, right? People are saying that, but it's like, nah, there's a guy open. The ball should be out. Well, we see it. Brock's looking at it. It's the double posts. That's where the reach is going, especially with the 2 high safeties. That middle of the field's open. That should be ripped. That should be a Brock Purdy. We go back and watch this. Middle of the field's going to be open. They're in a split look, right? Split look. Middle of the field's going to be open. This is going to be, you got to rip. There's no other. This is stuff when we see on film, has to be ripped. It has to be. You got to rip it. You got to. There's no other way around it. In the NFL, you got to rip those throws. If you want to be a $60 million quarterback, you want to be in the MVP conversation every year, be the top 5 quarterbacks, you got to rip those. Here, there's nothing. No play call that's going to get you out of a 2nd and 30, 2nd and 25. Ball gets batted down. I know I've heard Steve Young talk about it before, that about balls get batted down because you're staring receivers down. Safety wasn't sitting on top of the route. NFL terms, Steve-O. NFL terms, and I've talked with NFL receivers, NFL coach, former NFL coach. They would tell you this is open. We could look at this again. Ball's here. This guy this is about 6 yards, 5 to 6 yards. Plus, he's on the opposite 5. The ball's thrown here. He has to make up 4 yards if the ball's thrown in anticipation. He's not making that up. He's truly not, because he has to break, right? He's still in his back pedal. Feet are touching. He ain't getting out of a break there. Ain't no safety with their feet touching, getting out of a break there. That's NFL open. And what we're doing here is saying the safety over the top. This is not over the top. It's truly not. What's more over the top is here, right? Because you got Jennings coming out of this break. This linebacker's underneath. This is coming down already. He's already breaking. This is not open. This is open. Safety over the top that's not affecting anything. Ball needs to be ripped. His eyes are on the quarterback. He still has to. It's gonna be a bang bang play, but that's where arm talent comes into play. You got to rip that shit. NFL, you got to rip it. This is the NFL. This isn't college. You got to rip it. Especially with Brock throwing with a lot of anticipation. Brock throws with great anticipation. Throw with anticipation, get the ball out, and we can have it done. There's a window there. You got to make it. Brock has done that in the past, so I'm holding him to what he's done in the past. You got to make that throw. Here, it's just unfortunate. We heard Steve Young talk about, normally you see passes batted because of the offensive quarterback's eyes are staring receivers down. We've heard Steve Young talk about that. Here, if he does catch it, I think there's a running lane. You're not making up his 2nd and 25 double chains. But there's a running lane for the yards after the catch. Maybe it's 5 extra yards. You're just trying to get back into it to get into field goal range at this point. He catches it on the whip route. He does have a running lane. If this corner doesn't make the play, I think he gets tackled right away. But he has an opportunity. It just sucks that passes batted. Good play by the defensive line. You got to tip your hat off to the defensive line at times, right? Defenses get paid too. Third and 23. There ain't no play call for a 3rd and 23. You're going to get a draw. Typically, you get a draw. Sometimes you have quick screens. Ain't no play for a 3rd and 23. They finally run a Debo screen here. No, they don't. They'll run it later in the game. But this is open. This one is actually a big miss too, right? This one is a big miss because Debo could turn this up. Debo's open. We put it here. Debo's open. It's open. We've seen Debo turn this into 6 before. We've seen it earlier too. He turned down Debo. He's late to get to Debo. You can see from the other angle, Debo's a little frustrated, man. There's times where I saw Debo walk off the field frustrated on film. I'm not going to talk about it now because it's irrelevant. Debo needs to have better body language, in my opinion. But Debo is look at the window. He's looking to throw this way. So let's go back, right? He's ready to rip this way. So right now we're going to go back to the other angle. We're going to see what's there. We know Debo is going to be open in the void, right? This is wide open for Debo. Ball's here. Debo may take that to the house. Let's go back and see what Brock's looking at. Brock, in my opinion, has been getting locked on to receivers the last couple of weeks. He locks on to Jennings. Issue is they're passing this off. He's sitting. He's taking the deep. He's sitting on this. What are we seeing? Right? Are we not trusting what we're seeing? Ready to rip this. This is pick 6. Thankfully, he doesn't rip it. Turns that down. I would like to see those hips flip faster. Turn this down, flip those hips, get the ball out. Just unfortunate. Just looking at Jennings a little too long, thinking that the corners fooled you. Seattle fooled you. You thought they were in something. You thought you were going to get it to Jennings quick and get a few yards. They don't. Instead, you have to flip those hips and get it out. Look at his base, right? Let's watch his base. He's completely here, ready to rip, reset, and go. Instead, his feet come a little too close. They come a little heel clicky. Can't get it out. It's all right. Move on to the next play. I mean, you missed a throw. You missed a throw. You missed a read. You missed a read. You just don't start. You're turning stuff down earlier. And this is why turning things down and predetermining your reads does play a factor into games. I do want to go into the third quarter. Let's see if we can find stuff. I want to get later into the game, see if he's still turning things down. So we're third quarter, 10 minutes left. About 11 minutes left, actually. This may be after the interception. I believe we got the interception and then got the ball back. I don't like this by Brock at all. Good. I actually like seeing this play to talk about it. I don't like this by Brock at all. At all. This Pearsall should be thrown. They're in cover 2, or whatever you want to call it. This corner, you're reading this corner and this corner only on this concept. If he sits with Debo, you throw it deep. If he goes deep with Pearsall, you throw it to Debo. Don't like this at all by Brock. What does he do? Sits. That ass sits down. Ball should be placed over here. This safety ain't not making a play on this throw if you put it on the right spot. Put it where? Right here. Money. If you turn it down, cool. You see, okay, wait, I'm about to rip it. Right? Look at Brock ready to rip. Ready to make the throw. Start seeing that corner drift. Maybe. Start seeing him drift. Reset your feet. Get it to CMC or get it to Debo. Instead, he goes from this to down here to Jennings. Realizes Jennings isn't open and then wants to scramble and take a hit. Get the ball to your playmakers. Why are we taking hits? Check the ball down. Just check the ball down. There's no reason for you to take a hit. Look, we're going to scramble. I mean, if you're going to scramble to throw, maybe you put it over here. But we're scrambling to run, and I don't like that from Brock. Last year you scrambled to throw. Scramble to throw, not to run. Because now you're taking an unnecessarily big hit. Is this the hit that hurt his shoulder? I don't know. But you should not be taking this hit as a smaller quarterback. At all. At all. Right here. Boom. You don't like what you see this way? Ball should be coming here. Right over here. Boom. 1, 2, 3. That last route, 4. You're never getting to it usually. Never. Instead, he goes read here, 1, 2, or 2, or 1 to 2, however you want to read it, based off of the corner. You're reading the corner only. That's your 1 and 2. That's your 3. Never really getting to this Jennings route over here on the very outside. Ball should be going down to CMC. Instead, goes from right all the way across the field to left. CMC is like, hey, bro, I'm right here. Turn down, take the hit. Takes a solid hit, too, to that right shoulder. Is that why he's not throwing yesterday? I don't know. Don't like seeing him get hit like that. Brock, scramble to throw, bro. Don't take hits. You don't need to take hits. Later in the game, Or actually not later, next play. So what is it? Third and 15, third quarter. Third and 15, third quarter. Debo comes in motion. Debo's open on this route. There is anticipation. Hit that back foot and rip it. Hit that back foot and rip it. Put it here. Say we're checking it down. And let's see from the other angle. You can kind of see Debo's a little frustrated here, right? Let's take a look at Debo. See how he does that little hop, quick little hop? It's open. Rip this on a freaking line. This is your fastball right here. Boom. Fastball. Put that shit in there. We see NFL quarterbacks do it every week. Put it in there. Arm talent. Put it in there. Trust what you're seeing. Trust your anticipation. Trust your arm strength. Rip that in. Hash to hash. He's a little pretty much essentially hash to outside of hash, 2 yards outside of hash. You could rip that throw and you can make a solid throw. The corner safety's crashing. Debo should be able to make that catch if you put it on him. He's a former all-pro receiver. You should be able to put that on him. Debo has separation. Now it's not man to man. It's all right. He has separation. He's open. You gotta rip it. 3rd and 15. We're checking the ball down. I don't like that. That's probably my biggest turn down of the game from Brock that I didn't like. And we've seen Brock make this kind of throw for the last 2 years. Make the throw. Trust your eyes. Trust your arm. Trust your receiver. Your offensive line did a great job. You trusted them. Now make the throw. That's just a big turn down, in my opinion. Can't have it. Put it on him with anticipation. It's caught. Let's watch this again. We could argue number 8 can make a play. Yeah, he can make a play. Everyone can make a play. But if you're putting that on him, I'm trusting my receiver over your safety all day. My guy's better than your guy. We see NFL quarterbacks do it every freaking week. You could even essentially flatten out Debo if you're putting the ball over here. You make him flatten out that route a little bit more. He's wanting to flatten it out, try to come across. You flatten it out right here. He's catching it. We've seen Debo make that kind of catch. We've seen Brock make that throw. We got to have it, especially later in the game when you're settling for field goals. You got to score in the red zone right there. It got to happen. Third quarter. Blocked up well, pick up a few yards. I would like to see Brendel do a better job of reach blocking on this nose tackle, do a better job of getting those hips around a little bit more. That's what I want to see, right? So we'll see it from this angle a little bit better. I want to see the goal for Brendel is to get here and seal those hips, right? These hips need to flip. See how Banks essentially is? You want those hips for Brendel to be here. You want to give Christian McCaffrey essentially your ass. He's running off of your ass. He's running off of their ass. That's his goal, right? That's what you want him to do. Puny doesn't do a great job of getting to the second level to 13. So we'll see it from this angle. Puny's trying to get up to the linebacker. Very hard block. And this is where he's more so trying to come here and seal here. But it's from Brendel, man. You got to get those hips around. It ends up getting bullied. Look, Jesus, look how blown up he is. Like, it just... Is that knee not healthy? I don't know what it is, but man, that ends up getting blown up because of McKivitz's guy. McKivitz has to do a better job too. But man, it's just all around. It's the offensive line and the run game right now is struggling. More so Brendel and Banks than anything. 2nd and 7. I like Kyle doing this. Sending Pearsall in motion like this and back out. What are we in? Are you in man or are you in zone? Essentially, the Seattle does a really good job of not telling you what they're in. Looks like they're in man. Boom. Put it on him. Great play. Jennings is he's a really good player. I know 49er fans know how good of a receiver he is, but man, he's just a really good player. This is open. NFL open. Remember how I was talking about earlier? 1 to 2 yards. Really open. 1 to 2 yards right there. That's open. Fans are used to seeing wide ass open. He's open. You can even say Devo's open too. So, I mean, we'll talk about receivers not getting open all week, right? Open. Safety's coming down. Probably not as open. I mean, separation there. I know a lot of people separation. That safety is probably coming down. Take a look at this angle. Safety probably in like 90%. I'm sure he's coming down, which is his job. Take away. But look how far he is. That's 7 yards. So that's fucking open. That's getting open. That's open. Both open. Take what you want. Picks Jennings. I like it. Let's go. That's what we like to see, Brock. Great throw. Great stuff. Let's see it. Man, offensive line play, man. And sometimes this is what sucks when I say, like, guys are open, but then again, do you trust the offensive line, right? Do you trust what they're doing? Anytime an offensive lineman looks back at the quarterback in pass protection, there's an issue. Jake Brendel, right? If he has time, I know what Brock's looking at. Brock's looking at Jennings right here. Wide ass can open. He's ready to rip this shit. Look at his head. Head's looking here. Ready to set those feet and rip. Dude, Brendel gets his ass whooped. Dude in his face. Like he was ready to rip that. Feet are already getting set. Has to check it down. Brendel ends up looking back. Look at this. This is anytime an offensive lineman is looking back at his quarterback about to get hit, that is terrible. Effing terrible. Effing terrible. I hate saying it like that, but that's very bad offensive line play, man. It's very frustrating to see because your offensive play caller, head coach, whatever you want to call him, Kyle Shanahan calls a play, something's open to push the ball down the field. You're going to get at least 8 to 10 yards plus yards after the catch. Jennings usually probably makes this guy miss, to be honest with you. He probably not coming down. Big gain. Has to be turned away. Not because Brock wants to turn it away. This is something Brock's seeing, and he wants to rip, but his offensive line doesn't block it up well, and more so Brendel, because Trent's doing a good job. Banks is doing a good, or whoever this is. So everyone's doing a good job. I think that's Moore. Could be mistaken. Yes, Moore's playing the tight end role. That's just, to me, it's dumb. I understand it, but it's dumb. Moore's playing the tight end role. Banks, Trent, everyone else blocking up well. Come on, Brendel. You got to be better than that, man. You got to be. We can watch how it's blocked up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the line. See who comes. Send an extra. We talked about this earlier. Someone's dropping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential. This guy looks like he's dropping. He understands more of the tight ends. That's why he was on the line of scrimmage. I think that's what they were. As soon as they see more, I'm not trusting this. Send an extra rusher. Puny picks this up great. The offensive line passes this off great. Great job of everyone passing everything off. Perfectly blocked. Blocked great. Remember, he's technically your tight end. He's ready to rip. Look at his eyes. They're looking here. He's ready to rip that. But you got a guy on the floor. You got a guy who got his butt whipped. You gotta just check it down. Good play, Brock. Bad play, Brendel. Jennings is open. It just sucks to see, right? It just sucks to see your offensive line getting whooped. See it from this angle. They send the extra, the overload, right? Not necessarily an overload because they're essentially sliding this way anyways. They understood what was coming on. They slid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trent's one-on-one here, potentially more here. That's why you can slide, because of more being your extra blocker. Technically, this would be your tight end. You'd be your Kittle. More so Saubert. Kittle be the one going to motion, possibly, depending on how Kyle calls it, whatever. But this is typically your tight end. They send a jumbo package to have the extra blocker to hit Jennings. They put that extra blocker to hit Jennings. So, hey, if they send a free rusher, we're sliding. We have numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 5. I count wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I kind of right. I don't know. Morning. Coffee hasn't really hit. Boom. You slid right. Everyone perfect. Perfect. Picked it up. Hey, picked it up. This is great. Right? Yet your offensive line miscue, gets whooped, has to check it down. Big play turned down because of the offensive line. I like this. Kyle sticking to the run, even though it hasn't been really efficient. I would like to see him run more to the right. Running to the right has been a lot better this year than it has in the past. This is a good block by Banks. Really good block. If you can't get it, if you get those hips around, keep run blocking. Just keep driving. You're giving him a cutback lane. That's the outside zone. Just pay attention here. He's going to keep going here. There's a cutback lane for CMC. If he ends up cutting back off his ass, if you can't win, keep driving. There's going to be a cutback lane. Fortunately, 13 makes a great play as CMC's ready. He sees it. Just unfortunate. Good play. Remember, they get paid too. 2nd and 9. That's where defenses dictate what offenses do in situations. Nothing's there. Go. This is where Brock, where I'm like, okay, I like you hitting that back foot and taking off. Nothing's there. You could argue Jennings. I don't mind ripping it, but the likelihood of you throwing far hash to numbers, if it's not in the perfect spot, he's undercutting it, pick 6. I don't mind turning this down. This being 1-2, I don't mind that at all. At all. Now, I don't like him getting hit. Maybe just throw it high and away. Like if you're throwing it to Jennings. I don't want you to get hit. That's one thing I don't want my quarterback doing, getting hit. Play action. This play is a huge play. They don't bite. This corner doesn't bite. Jennings is open. Worst part about this play, I don't care about Jennings being open. I don't care about Debo being open. I care that my quarterback's getting it. Hand high, ready to throw. That hand gets hit. That's how he tore his UCL. So why he had to get elbow surgery. Is that a play that he got hurt on? We'll see it from this angle. I don't like seeing this from my quarterback getting hit. This is why when you send blitzes and you're not protecting well, hand gets hit, that hurts people. That gets people hurt. We've seen him have to get surgery because of that. So now we're, I believe, 3rd and 9, right? Or 2nd and 10, sorry. 2nd and 10, we're driving. Crucial drive in the game, too. Late in the game, 3rd quarter. Why are we handing it to Debo? Like, why? This hasn't worked all game. It just hasn't. I mean, Kyle's sticking with the Debo run. Especially when you're having CMC block an edge rusher, a big linebacker. I believe that's that Boye Mafe. Is it? I believe Boye Mafe. What number is Boye Mafe? I think he's 53. Yeah, it's Boye Mafe. That's a freaking edge rusher who's like 270 pounds, 265, 270. And you're asking CMC to block him. Not happening. 3rd and 11. Defense could dictate games, right? 3rd and 11. What's the time on the clock? What's the 3rd quarter? I know it's 3rd quarter, but let's check the time. 4th quarter. Sorry. Fourth quarter, 13 minutes, 43 seconds to go. You're down 3. Are they going to send an overload blitz? Are they going to send a pressure? Are they simulating pressure? What are they doing? All right. They're not sending pressure. Blocked up really well. This is no one's open except Jennings. Figures out a way to get open. Great catch. Great throw. Ball's out super early. Ball's out now. Look, he starts going. He's like not even out of his break. He is barely coming out of his break. He's already in motion. Ball's coming out. Anticipation. He knows his receiver's going to come open based off of the coverage and everything. Brendel. Oof. Brendel right here. Oof. Bad look, Brendel. Guy in his face. Throws. So earlier when I was criticizing, not necessarily criticizing, going through stuff that he's been able to do, we see it happen here. So it's like, Brock, you pass throws up like this, then you hit a throw like this. If you're hitting those throws earlier in the game, it's not such a close game. You're probably not down 3. Guy in his face, good throw, good catch. Jennings is a dog. No other way to put it. That's a dog. Watch Brendel here, man. We know it happens on the passing stuff. We know Jennings is open by a yard. Good DT and stunt. Right. They're going to stunt here. But then you pick it up well. Like he's coming this way. They trust Banks and Trent and Saubert because there's chipping on that end. They trust it this way. And then you pick it up well on the other side, and the center just gets whooped. It's just bad offensive line play. Run the ball. Juice. I'm not sure. I think this is more so a great defensive line play than anything. Shooting the gap. I think this is just a hell of a play by Leonard Williams. Or no, it's not Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams is leading 99. Which is a great play by 98. Juice ain't doing nothing on this play. I'm being honest. It ain't nothing. I'm not even gonna criticize it. You're not making that block at all. Your job is to get outside and get going. Great play by the defensive lineman. I want to see Kyle do this a little bit more often, especially because Christian McCaffrey, the offensive line isn't blocking well. Just get them in open space. Just watch the offensive line get out and going. Brendel in open space. Just go. He's athletic. Just go. Run that little out extended handoff, extended run play. Get you a big chunk. Especially because CMC he's struggling to cut. Taking him a few steps to cut, and we talked about that earlier. So just get him out in open space and go. Because now he's coming downhill. He's good downhill right now. His straight line speed is still there. It's when he has to change the direction cuts. 3rd and 1. Shout out Christian McCaffrey. First down. But Brendel talked about this all game. Feels like Brendel ass whipped. Holding. Now we're in 3rd and 11. 3rd and 11. Late in the game. 11 minutes, 4th quarter. Defenses, remember what I said earlier? Defenses dictate what Kyle Shanahan's offense does. A lot of people were arguing, I want audibles. I want Brock to go to the line of scrimmage and call stuff out. What I don't care about audibles. Audibles are stupid because the argument, in my opinion, is a little stupid. Because audibles you don't see often. You see them happen. But Kyle has 2 to 3 play calls, and we've seen Brock go to call can, where he goes here, can. We see Rodgers do it, can, canning to the next play. So they're you get to the next play. But what I want to see is Brock to be able to call out pass protection. Don't necessarily, and more so, not throughout the game, but have the ability to do it in crucial moments, right? 3rd and 11 in the red zone. Well, we were in the red zone. We had a holding call. We get pushed back. So technically, you're still in the red zone, right? They're mugged up. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 potential comers. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. By the way, shout out to Isaac Garendo. Hell of a effing block pickup, blitz pickup here. Hell of an effing. That's one of my favorite plays of the game from the rookie, right? We've talked about players making plays. This rookie makes a fucking play. It absolutely makes a play. He allows Brock to make a throw. He gets out of there. So, right, Niners get fooled. Right? These two get the hell out of there. And this is why I would like for Brock to be able to call protection, because we can see where there's more guys, right? We see the right side is overloaded. 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1, 2, 3. I would like to see Brock call it this way. Everyone's sliding. He has inside guy. I'm willing to let my running back pick up the linebacker inside. They have it already called perfectly. Typically, you don't see this for the 49ers. Typically, they're confused and someone comes free running. This is a hell of a block. Technically, they're confused because the defensive tackle drops out. This free runner if you're coming, that's on Brock. Brock needs to know there's a free runner based on the pass protection. This is blocked well because he knows he has a free runner. Ball's out. He knows there's a free runner. Isaac Garendo does a good job. Jennings does an even better job on 3rd and 11, fighting for the first down. Man, that's just incredible. Incredible play. Jennings is a freaking animal. That's just incredible. Absolutely insane of a play. Just phenomenal. Look at this blitz play up there. I got to boom. Great blitz. Oh my God. Let's watch this again. This is probably, in my opinion, it's not talked about enough. Everyone's talking about the Jawan Jennings extra fight for yards. If this isn't made, this play isn't happening. Boom. First of all, I don't even know what the hell Brendel's doing. I would like to know. Okay, he's thinking Jones is coming. They had the Niners fooled. He thought Jones was coming. Banks thought 90 was coming. So it would 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Brock, you have a free runner. That's how they had it. That's how the Niners thought it was coming. Boom. We got to pick it up. Brock, you have a free runner. You know where it's coming. You have enough time. He's outside. He's the farthest outside. That's how you want to block it up. That's exactly how the Niners drew it up to block it, right? If you're sending an extra guy, you're sending more than I could block. I want the outside guy because he's the farthest away from my quarterback. It's going to take him the longest to get to me. I have 2.5 seconds to get the ball out. At least 2. Ball needs to be out. Great blitz pickup by Isaac Garendo. I cannot express how great of a blitz pickup this is. It's just phenomenal. Boom. Popped him. That's the play, in my opinion, the play that is needed to be made by a rookie. That is a hell of a blitz pickup. Just to sit in there with a linebacker and pop him in the mouth as a rookie in a key situation. Great blitz pickup. And then we talked about turning stuff down earlier. Watch Saubert on Woolen. Maybe you don't like the matchup. Big corner versus your starting corner versus your backup tight end. Maybe you don't like it. Understandable. But he's open. No one in the middle of the field's wide ass open. If that's Kittle, you're definitely 100% throwing it. They're probably not playing Kittle that way either. So you're probably going to make that throw. But he's open. Boom. Open. Woolen slips. Ends up going to CMC. Don't mind it. You're still getting a profit. But we're getting 6 points here. Eventually, we get 6 points on the next play. So I don't mind it. But let's go back and start at that angle. Saubert. Open. Ball should be here. Just, again, turning stuff down. Red zone cues, right? If we don't get a touchdown this drive, what we're talking about, Niners missed an opportunity in the red zone late in the game. Throw it here. It's caught. If not, you get a holding call, most likely. See that red pull? This is opportunities, right? Look at this red jersey pull or shirt pull, whatever you want to call it. Opportunities are there in the red zone. You got to have them. I understand we end up scoring in the next play, but that's something you can't turn down. Boom. Just great play call by Kyle. Just wide ass open. How do you get the best receiver on the field all game and you leave him wide ass open? I want to go to a couple of the passing concepts later in the game, see if we turn anything down before we get out of here. We have 3 minutes left. Canned it. Whoa, we've seen Brock change a play call at the line of scrimmage. Watch him. Watch Kyle. Watch Brock go to his head. Can. Change the play. That's an audible. Right? Audible. Change it to a run. There's nothing there. Just nothing there. They can't run the ball when there's nothing there, huh? So now we're in, what was that? 2nd and 11 now. Defense could dictate what you're doing. Defense could dictate it. Whenever Moore was in the game, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're gonna go jumbo. I'm gonna treat you like you're running it. I'm gonna go 5 down. Niners understand. Okay, you go 5. That means you have one less dude in coverage. Debo's open. It sucks because this is a day 1 install. If you go to the 49ers playbook, if you have it, if you don't, direct message me. I could send it to you. This is a day 1 install. Hands get up in the throwing lane, but this needs to be completed somehow, some way. You figure out how to complete this. It can't be high and behind. Has to be completed. Has to be. I understand that the defensive lineman gets the hands up, but that's a day 1 install. That's a play they rep every single day in practice. It's a play that's happening all training camp. And I wouldn't mind if Brock slid a tiny bit, knowing that they're all slanting this way. They're all going with the run, right? They at least the first defensive tackles. I wouldn't mind if he does slide step. At least this defensive tackle, they go with the way the Niners are blocking it, right? Like boom, thinking that was a run. I wouldn't mind if he sidestepped and made that kind of throw. Hard throw to make, but it's got to be made late in the game. This probably kills the game. Debo has a whole yard of separation. Ball's placed here. So if he sidesteps and creates a throwing lane for himself, I understand he probably feels pressured. Maybe doesn't trust his offensive line to hold that long. Sidesteps, makes a throw, and creates his own throwing lane. It could happen. He's open. Ball sells because his hand's up. He feels like he has to get it over. Sells on him. A little bit behind. Maybe this is Jennings running this route. Maybe it's caught. I don't know. But it's still high and behind. Can't happen. Especially late in the game. Tip balls, batted balls, they usually lead to interceptions. Tips and overthrows or interceptions. Cannot happen. Just cannot happen. That's a day 1 install. Day 1 install. Now it's 3rd and 11. Essentially, the game's on the line. Biggest play of the game. Biggest play of the game. This is something where I was kind of, so essentially 2 timeouts, right? Seattle has 2 timeouts. Niners with 2 timeouts. 2:58 on the last one. You could have ran it, maybe force Seattle to call a timeout, get into 2nd and 3rd and like 8. Hopefully, make it a little bit easier on you, and you force them to use a timeout, or you're running the clock down to 2:10. Niners decided to throw it. They went for the kill. People call Kyle Shanahan conservative. He went for the kill. He went for the game. Players didn't execute. Here, free runner. Again, Remember what I said earlier when defenses could dictate what the Niners do based off of some things they do in the sense of not changing their protection or sliding their protection. So Kyle knows he's hot, or Brock knows he's hot. Sorry. He knows he's hot. He knows 1-2 on the line of scrimmage is 1-0. These guys, someone's coming. At least one of them are coming. So that's 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 6. CMC's running a route though, maybe. 3rd and 11. You probably don't have him blitz picking up. Let's see. He stays in to pick up the blitz. Remember, they're dictating what the offense does by not changing your protection. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive tackle, or dropping into coverage. Brock feels like he's hot. 3rd and 11. What are we doing? We're throwing short of the sticks. This guy, mainly this guy, is coming to rally. He has Debo. Eyes are straight on Debo, locked in. Man here, man here, man here. Defensive tackles are just trying to take away throwing lanes. Right? CMC goes for the block. Hands get up. We're throwing short of the sticks. Because instead of changing the protection or changing what is going on in terms of, and I think it's more so protection than changing the play call, right? Because if you go where, hey, let's slide right, or slide left, we have the extra 2 up top, right? Take a look at it. Which way is overloaded? This is something that we see, right? Which way, at least this way. Everyone slide left. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 1, 2, 3 here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, potentially 3 if they're going to blitz. Someone's dropping. They're not all coming. They're not sending out there. Everyone's not coming because you would tell based off of these 2 safeties. Based off of these 2 safeties tells you that not everyone's coming because if so, it's a quick pop pass. Boom. You got a first down based off of the way it's drawn up, based on the way it looks. You know everyone is not coming. You got to find who's not coming. Slide left to the overload. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Slide left. Trent outside. Banks, the guy that's inside. Brendel sliding inside, so you would probably get this guy. Puny, this guy. McKivitz here. CMC, you gotta pick up the edge rusher. Unfortunately, instead, they don't slide. They keep it true, more so. They keep it more so true to what it already was. They do. I think they pick it up really well. I think Trent just sees this late because of how these 2 dropped. They pick it up really, 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 really well. I would have liked for it to be known what they were doing, so you're not having to guess, right? You're not having to guess. Offensive line isn't having to figure out on the fly. Instead, we can say, hey, we're sliding here. We're playing outside to inside or inside to outside, however you want to play it. So essentially, if you slide left, Trent, you have outside guy, whoever comes next, vice versa, picking it up. They still pick it up really well because of CMC. He's thinking he got inside, ends up going outside because these 2 are dropping. So they pick it up really well, but you're having to throw hot. You're still standing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 6 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus CMC. There's 6. So you got 6 on 5, but you're playing hot. So you don't know who's coming. You essentially have these 2 who you're expecting to come, dropping, throwing hot. Ball comes out, short of the sticks, come down, rally, and tackle versus changing your protection where you have something to actually throw to past the sticks. That affects the game. We talked about this earlier in the game. That affects the game. By allowing the defense to dictate, by knowing your principles on offense, you're not going to change pass protection. They could send an overload. They thought it was going to be they thought the free runner was going to be here. They thought they were going to be able to let this be the free runner. They thought CMC could pick up the inside here. If he does come, they pick it up really well for them dropping. See, boom. We could say here, look. And it's more so just a confusion. Really good pickup by the offensive line. Boom. He realizes, oh, he's dropping. Banks goes here. Trent needs to go here. Help here. CMC has here. It just confuses everyone. You got to talk through it before, right? And that's what I wish they would have had been able to go to the line of scrimmage and discuss. Kyle doesn't do that. That's it for today's episode on going over the play calls and going over the offense. We got through a good amount of it. My role here is to just kind of just go through stuff, not necessarily talk bad on anyone. I wasn't trying to kill Brock or anything. Brock's a really good quarterback. He makes those throws before. And just kind of just seeing what the offense is looking like. That's it for today's show. Thank you all for tuning in. Till next time, hopefully I'm back on later today with Rohan. See y'all later today. Peace out. Have a good one.